Hi, friends in Today All Day Land. Hope you're enjoying your Wednesday morning, and we're so glad you tuned in to Today in 30.
Well, you guys know how we do it by now. It's our special blend of things you love across all 4 hours of our show, when we break them down to a single half hour. So what do we have up first?
Well, we're in Geneva, this high-stakes summit going on between the president and Vladimir Putin of Russia. Just ahead, complete coverage as the two leaders finally come face to face.
Yeah, then we're going to hear from the groups on the receiving end of this surprising donation from Mackenzie Scott. She's the ex-wife of Amazon's Jeff Bezos. By the way, nearly $3 billion go into charities and schools and nonprofits.
And they never saw it coming. And then, Hoda, you have a fun conversation with Bruce Springsteen and the lead singer of The Killers.
Yeah, we have that. And also on the 4th hour, we have a little something we like to call Trends Day Wednesday. So we break down all the hot topics that you don't want to miss.
Well, I don't want to miss it. And do we pick your outfit today?
Not today. You know what? We're doing something different. We're going to show you a little later.
Okay, all right. Let's get started. It's time for Today in 30.
Let's get right to this morning's breaking news. All eyes on Geneva, Switzerland, where President Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin are holding their very first summit as we speak.
They took part in a photo op with the president of Switzerland, shared a handshake this morning before heading inside that 18th century villa where the talks are being held. And both leaders enter this day in agreement on one issue. They both say this week that U.S.-Russian relations are at a low point.
All right, let's run through how the rest of the day is going to play out. President Biden is being joined by Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Putin accompanied by his longtime foreign minister. And once the initial talks wrap up, they'll expand the room and they'll bring in some other senior aides.
That's right. The meetings are expected to last up to 5 hours. It's all business. As one White House official put it, there will be no breaking of bread. And we have complete coverage, including a conversation with former U.S. Ambassador to Russia, Michael McFaul. But we're going to start with NBC's chief White House correspondent, Peter Alexander. Peter is in position in Geneva this morning. Peter, good morning to you. We already saw that handshake between the two leaders. The meeting is on, and the stakes could not be higher.
Yes, Savannah, you're exactly right. Good morning to you from here in Geneva. We are now just a short walk away from where that summit is continuing at this hour. Let me show you. These are some pictures, the only ones we will get, it appears, today from inside the room. You can see the presence on both sides alongside the Russian foreign minister and the Secretary of State, Tony Blinken. As you note there, we are now told by a White House official that earlier this hour, that two-on-two meeting wrapped up after roughly 90 minutes. They have now moved in to what is an expanded meeting with additional officials joining them here. Everything here was negotiated, even coming into this day, that Vladimir Putin would arrive first, then President Biden. And a lot of people anticipate that today will be as much about symbolism as substance. President Biden meeting Russian President Vladimir Putin this morning in Geneva. The two now facing off for hours of high-stakes negotiations for the first time. Mr. Biden welcomed by the president of Switzerland, asked by reporters if he's ready.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is the venue for today's historic summit, Villa Lagrange, a Swiss estate on the banks of Lake Geneva. And that red carpet, that's where the presidents from both countries are going to be greeted this morning by the president of Switzerland. The White House saying it invited American media here because Russian press had been given a similar opportunity earlier. Senior White House officials say the meeting's expected to last 4 to 5 hours, though they say the two leaders are not expected to share a meal, and President Biden will never be alone with Putin. And afterward, a pair of separate solo news conferences. First Putin, then Biden. The White House vows the president will confront Putin over the recent surge in ransomware attacks that the U.S. blames on criminal Russian hackers. Putin, pressed by Keir Simmons, deflecting questions about his responsibility.
Mr. President, are you waging a cyber war against America?
Where is the evidence? Where is proof?
Despite years of aggressive behavior toward the U.S. and Europe, the Russian president insists he has not closed the door to cooperation.
We are willing to engage with international participants, including the United States. You are the ones who have refused to engage in joint work.
Putin also insisting he's open to a potential prisoner swap. Overnight, a plea from Trevor Reed, the former U.S. Marine sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison, hoping the talks between the two leaders could lead to his freedom.
Okay, I would say that I spent my whole life in the service of my country, and I would appreciate it if my country would help to bring me home in this difficult situation back to my family.
Republicans, meanwhile, argue President Biden has not been tough enough on Putin.
I'm concerned about what he's going to do here with Putin because think about this. America is worse off because of Biden's weakness.
Still, former President Trump rarely criticized the Russian president, even publicly siding with him at their 2018 summit in Helsinki, saying he believed Putin's denial of 2016 election interference over his own intelligence officials.
My people came to me, as they said, they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
The White House also saying that they are not expecting any major policy announcements to come out of today's summit. And just to pull back the curtain a bit and give you a sense of where we are here, this entire estate is surrounded by barbed wire fence and Swiss police. And for that news conference a little bit later, President Biden will do his outdoors. President Putin will do it in a separate enclosed space so that he can't be seen from the outside. All of it ahead on this day of this historic summit.
An important milestone in the pandemic. 15 months in the making. 2 states hit hardest by the coronavirus, New York and California, have now dropped most restrictions to officially reopen. NBC News correspondent Miguel Almaguer is in L.A. for us. Hey, Miguel, good morning.
Hoda, good morning. In California alone, an estimated 15,000 businesses were forced to close during the pandemic. Now, with a mass reopening underway, those that survived are hoping for a rebound. But health experts are warning the Delta variant will likely become the dominant strain in the U.S. and could lead to a rise in cases in the coming months.
This morning, the Delta variant is causing higher levels of infection, more than tripling in just 2 weeks, and now making up nearly 10% of new COVID cases, with health experts cautioning the fall may bring a new wave of infections. The CDC has labeled the Delta strain a variant of concern, amid mounting evidence it's more infectious and severe.
If you're not vaccinated, the Delta variant will spread in your community more quickly. It will take less exposure to get COVID-19.
While top doctors say being fully vaccinated will likely protect you from severe outcomes caused by the variant, only 44% of Americans are. The South, home to some of the lowest vaccination rates in the country. Mississippi, last, fully vaccinating just over 33% of its eligible population. In all, 25 states have completely inoculated less than 50% of people 12 and older. New York lit up as the governor drops nearly all COVID restrictions statewide, allowing businesses to open without capacity limits or social distancing requirements.
This is a momentous day, and we deserve it.
California's roaring return punctuated at Dodger Stadium.
3, 2, 1.
The state's reopening day comes after a devastating 15 months. The governor, one of the last to lift restrictions.
The delay, how come?
We don't want to dream of regretting, and we're mindful that you can pull the plug a little bit early.
This morning, the stage is set for a COVID comeback, but it could be derailed by one of the most dangerous variants of the virus yet.
Yeah, we are glad to hear some of that good news, Miguel. But there's also a study that's out, and a lot of people have been concerned about this, the long-term issues that follow COVID that a lot of patients are facing. So what do we know about that?
Well, the analysis of nearly 2 million people who contracted the virus found that almost a quarter sought medical treatment for new conditions 1 month or more after being infected. Problems range from nerve pain and fatigue to high blood pressure. They're adding worry since less than half of the public is fully vaccinated.
Wow.
Hoda?
All right, Miguel Almaguer for us. Miguel, thank you.
We are back, and Carson joins us. Good morning,
Hey,
friend.
Carson.
A remarkable surprise to tell you about, a gift to charities and nonprofits in need, and they never saw it coming.
That's right. Mackenzie Scott, a philanthropist, author, and former wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, just announced a new round of charitable giving.
Yeah, pretty cool. NBC's Natalie Morales joins us with the story. Hey, Nat, good morning.
Hey, guys. Yeah, what a gift. This is actually Mackenzie Scott's third donation since 2020. $2.7 billion. That's enough to rival the contributions made by even the largest of foundations.
This morning, philanthropist Mackenzie Scott announcing a $2.7 billion no-strings-attached gift to 286 organizations. The 51-year-old former wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos contributing alongside her new husband, lifelong educator Dan Jewett. The organizations on the receiving end, equity-oriented and nonprofit teams from refugee settlement groups to universities and minority communities.
That is the largest one-time contribution we've ever received as an organization. And my hand was shaking when I wrote it down. I actually wrote 1 million on a piece of paper in case I, forgot the amount.
The announcement comes after 2 other surprise donations in 2020. Forbes estimates Scott's wealth, roughly $60 billion, has continued to grow since divorcing Bezos in 2019. Scott expressed concern about the source of her wealth without referring to Amazon by name, writing she's attempting to give away a fortune that was enabled by systems in need of change. Bezos, currently listed by Forbes as the richest person in the world, recently named by ProPublica for paying no federal income taxes in 2007 or 2011, joining other multi-billionaires including Elon Musk and George Soros, who paid little or no taxes compared to their massive wealth. Scott seeming to criticize that concentration of wealth, writing, "We are governed by a humbling belief that it would be better if disproportionate wealth were not concentrated in a small number of hands, and that the solutions are best designed and implemented by others." Not long after the split, Scott signing the Giving Pledge, first started by Warren Buffett and Bill and Melinda Gates, promising to donate a majority of her wealth to philanthropic causes. Her husband, Jewett, also signing earlier this year. Scott and Bezos, who together share 4 kids, parted ways after one of the most expensive divorces in history.
During the pandemic, Americans, all of us had to get pretty creative with how we work and play.
Well, that could not be more true for the boss himself, Bruce Springsteen.
Hoda, you had a chance to talk exclusively to him, and you were joined by Brandon Flowers, his lead singer of The Killers.
It was pretty. It was really cool. And in just a few minutes, we're actually going to bring you the premiere of that recent collaboration. It's a remake of one of The Killers' hit songs. And their voices, by the way, could not be more perfectly matched. But first, I got a chance to catch up with the guys to talk about the project and their mutual admiration fan club. When the boss sends you a text that he wants to join forces, there's only one answer. Yes, definitely yes. So, wait, Brandon, when you found out the boss was a fan, did you freak out?
Yeah, I mean, he's somebody he's a part of American culture and fabric, and he's such an icon. So just to have him be aware of what we do is really, special to us.
But you hadn't met him. How were you feeling before your first interaction with Bruce?
I was a little embarrassed, actually, because there had been a lot of headlines about this obvious influence that had entered into the Killer's picture. I didn't know how he was going to respond to that. I had a little bit of trepidation.
Bruce, did you know that he was worried or nervous to meet you?
No, not really. It makes you happy to see where your music goes and who it inspires. I find that to be very thrilling.
So, Brandon, what do you remember about the meeting? There he is, your idol. You walk up.
The first time he watched us, we played before him at a festival in Europe. I look over and I see these aviators on the side of the stage, and behind the aviators is the boss. It makes you up your game a little bit when he's watching, and he's just gracious and lived up to all the rumors about him. He said, "I want to do a little Thunder Road," and it's arguably the greatest rock song of all time. I said, hell yes.
Nearly a decade after their first meeting, Bruce figured it was time to return the favor.
And I just got a text about how, when we cross paths, let's do Dustland. We got to do Dustland one of these days.
Right.
I wasn't sure if somebody was pulling my chain, and I didn't know for sure that it was him.
Bruce, I love that's how you do it. You send a text. That's how you do? That's how you operate?
I am a texter, and I am a texter because my children insisted that I text. I said, Dad, if you want to get in touch with us, you got to text us. So now I text everybody, and I wanted to stay in touch with Brandon just because he's a great guy. He sang with me on my band. So let me come up and sing a song with you on your band.
The song was written by the Killer's frontman in 2008 as his mother battled terminal brain cancer. Brandon wrote of his parents' enduring love story, inspired, he says, by Springsteen.
I didn't think that things that were happening in my life would be that interesting, and he's sort of opening that door for me to write about those things.
This song isn't the only collaboration for Bruce.
I was trying to remember the first time we actually met.
In February, he launched a podcast with another icon. Now, I was listening to your podcast, Bruce, with President Obama. Did you text him, too, and say, hey, buddy, why don't we get together and collaborate on something?
It didn't quite happen like that, but I have texted the president. But that was actually his idea.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was his idea. Of course, I'm going, okay, he's the president. And I have a high school diploma, and I'm a guitar player from New Jersey. There's something wrong with this picture. You know? I grew up thinking, my father was like ashamed of his family.
It was as if there was like a real brotherhood.
Yeah, I love the president very much, and I was very happy with it.
Bruce, the other thing I'm pumped about, your daughter may be going to the Olympics as an equestrian. Is that a possibility?
She's very close.
How do you feel about it?
Very proud.
Oh.
There's the hire for Bruce Springsteen. She has worked since she was 4 years old. Oh. She's just worked as hard as I've ever seen anybody work at something. So if she happens to get the chance, we're going to be very, very excited, and we've got our fingers crossed.
And Bruce may be a Jersey boy, but he's turning the lights back on Broadway. His Tony-winning show reopens for a run later this month. I know it's your life, but there's a lot of ground to cover there. Do you have to kind of remember and relearn the rhythm of that show?
The rhythm is in me, so and I did it 236 times, so it's like riding a bike. It's not going to go away.
Well, you guys, congrats on this, y'all. This is super cool. See you.
Thanks.
This morning in our series, The Upside, a father and son who share a truly unique bond. Together, they are making history in the medical field on a mission that truly comes from the heart.
We go sailing together, just the two of us. We ski together. We do triathlons together.
Meet Konstantin Mavroudis and Konstantin Mavroudis, a father and son who share much more than a name.
We have actually been doing triathlons together for about 20 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Is the dynamic competitive, or do you?
No, I can't compete with him. No, I can't compete with him. He's too fast.
Come on, Konstantin, you got this, buddy. Come on. He's looking good, buddy. Come on.
The younger Konstantin, who goes by Konst, might best his dad in a race, but he's following his father's footsteps in a big way as a pediatric congenital heart surgeon.
In many ways, it's kind of like being a mechanic. I mean, you're taking apart an engine, you're putting it back together. You're hoping that it works well in the end.
With a 40-year career, the elder Konstantin is one of the field's most prominent doctors, now saving lives at Peyton Manning Children's Hospital at Ascension St. Vincent in Indianapolis.
Sometimes these hearts can be no bigger than a large chestnut. It's up to people like Konst and I to fix them.
Konst started picking his dad's brain about hearts at an early age.
There were times that I remember you go to restaurants that have the paper instead of the cloth on the tables, and I would ask him questions about heart disease, and he would draw little diagrams.
But the boy, curious about hearts, almost became an orthopedic surgeon instead.
I really didn't want to do what my father does.
Tell me about some of the reasons why you didn't think you wanted to do what your dad did.
It's tough. When your father literally wrote a textbook, so when people can say he wrote the book on it, he kind of did. That can be difficult. But in the end, it became something that I couldn't resist.
He's now finishing his residency at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and together they're only the 5th father and son ever in this profession.
It's a pretty rare connection that we have, and the fact that we have the exact same name means that I get his emails, sometimes he gets mine.
He and I talk a lot about what went wrong in an operation or what could have been better.
It gives me a great opportunity to have this wonderful connection with my father.
But when it comes to the heart, there are bigger lessons a son learns from his dad.
There were two major maxims growing up. One was remember your last name, and the other was be aware of others. My wife and I are pregnant, and these are kind of the major things that I'm going to try to, thank you.
Yay, congratulations.
These are the things that she and I value very highly and are going to do our best to impart to our children.
What sort of values did you want to instill, and what do you see in him?
Well, he would be the first to say, you lead from the front, you lead by example. I have pride, but I didn't take his exams. I didn't do his residency for him. He did that himself. If there was anything that I did, I maybe held up an example.
And what do you want to see for his career going forward?
Oh, he's already doing it. God bless him. I just hope that I live to 120 to see it all.
Hey, you guys, it's another Trends Day Wednesday. I am here. I'm giving you a new fashion trend that I hope you don't try. We're talking about Kanye's new relationship. You won't believe with who, and you won't believe what J-Lo's mom and Ben Affleck are up to. You want to check this out. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, it's Trends Day Wednesday, which means it's time for our weekly dose. And we wish we had more than a weekly dose. Justin, Sylvester, you're part of the fam, babe.
Yes, we had so much fun last week.
By the way, hats off, man. I said,
Thank
Jen and I
you.
both know that when you interviewed us on your podcast thing, we fell madly in love. And you did it here, too. And you keep doing it.
Every time.
Well, you guys, I just, Hoda, I know you weren't there, but I brought a tape measure with me to New York. And if my measurements are right, they can fit 3 at that table. So just know, I'm here with you, okay? I'm not handy, but I can measure.
We love you.
You're so cute. Okay, so coming up, the newest couple everybody is talking about.
Kanye.
Does Kanye have a new girl?
A new girl?
Kanye West is reportedly dating the one and only Irina Shayk. Now, the two have been seeing each other for several weeks, and they were spotted strolling in France for Kanye's 44th birthday. Just a normal, low-key, casual date outside of a villa in Provence. Now, our sources say the two will continue to see each other, but long distance because Kanye has no plans on leaving LA because his kids are in Calabasas. Now, as a gay man here, I feel like it's my obligation to point out 2 things. The first is we will probably see more photos of Kanye West finally smiling. And if that happens, you guys should buy lottery tickets because it never happens, okay? And the second thing is this man right here, he is alone. He is single and he is 6'1" somewhere in New York City. Ladies, you need to find this man like he is a face on a milk carton. It is Bradley Cooper. Okay?
A face on a milk carton. All right, talk to us about this. Oh, you got something else? What else? What do you got?
I'm just pointing out that he's rich and ready. So this could be your life, ladies. Find Bradley Cooper.
Who are you,
Seriously.
Justin, you got your props, man. You brought your A+ game. All right, so there's a fashion pairing that is surprising a lot of people.
Okay, yes. There are a few pairings in nature that I just don't understand. Pickles and ice cream, socks and sandals, Kenny Chesney and Renee Zellweger. I'll never figure that one out. And now this, bikinis and cowboy boots. Lots of celebrities.
I get it.
I get it. That's very Southern.
They look hot.
That is a hot trend, babe.
Yeah, jean shorts,
I bet you
and
would
cowboy
never
boots.
be caught in that.
Whoa, I wouldn't be caught in the bikini, but the cowboy
the boots and the jean shorts we could handle.
Yes.
But by the way, that's a real cool. Who's doing it? Who's doing it?
You have Kourtney Kardashian, you have Kendall Jenner, you have Dua Lipa. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the only thing I'm wearing with my bikini this summer is a full cover-up. Okay?
Exactly.
Okay,
I'm going to wear muumuu.
Real quick, J-Lo and Ben.
Yes.
We hear Lupe likey.
Into him.
I told you guys here a few weeks ago that the one person who was super hyped about this whole pairing was Lupe. Well, they
Jennifer
were
Lopez's
spotted
mom.
Yes. They were seen together in Las Vegas, and I did some investigating. I digged up some information, and Lupe is reportedly making a cameo in Ben's new movie that is filming in Vegas.
Wait, so Jennifer Lopez's mother is going to be in Ben Affleck's movie.
That seems like it's serious.
You know what? You're on it. You keep digging, babe.
Yes.
Here's the thing. If you liked Wednesday, you're going to love Thursday. Tomorrow on Today, live music back on our plaza, a special concert from Coldplay.
And then Jenna, she's jumping out of a plane live. You know, just another day on Today.
Well, I was going to say, live concert and jumping out of a plane. I told you it's going to be a good one. Thursday morning, we'll see you on Today.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.